She had 4 months left to live, and then she got stung by bees. Ellie was having the time of her life. She was a married mother of 3 and just bought a new house. She loved to run every day. She was active. I'm telling you, Ellie was living the life. One day, she was minding her business, like most of us pretend to do, and was working in her garden. Suddenly, Ellie was bitten by a tick, but she had no idea. I'm sure she felt something on her, but it didn't register at the time. As time went on, Ellie started feeling like she had the flu. She would take some medication here and there, but she just couldn't shake it. Next, her joints felt so inflamed and she was in constant pain. As someone with health insurance would do, she goes to the doctor. Because if anyone could figure out what was wrong with Ellie, it would be the doctor, right? Absolutely wrong. Ellie would go to several doctors over a course of a year, and each one of them diagnosed her with different illnesses. She had lupus, she had fibromyalgia, she wasn't tipping bartenders. Each doctor had a different idea of what was wrong with Ellie, but no one could give her anything to help her alleviate the symptoms. Finally, Ellie went to a doctor who asked her the right questions. He inquired about if she had a bull's-eyed rash or if she ever had one, and she did. The doctor would end up diagnosing Ellie with Lyme disease. How did all of these doctors miss this? Why did this happen? And finally, what's Lyme disease? No pirates to have the disease, right? Wait, no, I think that's scurvy. Ooh. I need to look this up. Lyme disease is an illness caused by Borrelia bacteria, usually transmitted by a tick bite. The disease tends to have 3 stages that starts with joint pain, and if left untreated, can lead to issues with your nervous system and inflammation of your brain and spinal cord. Now, if you catch Lyme disease in its early stages, it's pretty treatable. However, once it starts getting in the later stages, you're most likely going to have to live with the disease and it becomes harder to treat. And because Ellie's first doctors dicked around, by the time she found the right doctor, it was too late. The disease started to affect her nervous system and her joints. It made it hard for her to stand up or even move. It had gotten to the point where all she could do was just lift her head off the pillow. Now, Ellie had lived with the disease for numerous years, and she had received some devastating news from the doctor. She had been given about 3 to 4 months to live because the Lyme disease had ravaged her body. At this point, Ellie thought to herself, I'm going to move out to California and live my last moments here. Now, one of my questions was, I never heard Ellie refer to her kids and her husband in the few interviews I read. So I don't know if she was like, peace out, it's been real. I don't know. But I'm sure they had some type of relationship or communication with each other. She moves out to California, and one of her friends becomes her caregiver. Great friends. And she was just ready to die. She had beautiful scenery. One day, Ellie and her caregiver friend were out for a walk, talking about life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice while enjoying the California scene. And all of a sudden, she was attacked by a swarm of Africanized bees. I'm sorry, I know you're into the story, but real quick, if you like these stories, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that every time I release something, you know when I'm releasing it. Okay, thank you, bye. Ellie is just having a time right now. Now, these African bees are not like your regular old honeybees. In fact, these Africanized bees are known as killer bees, a deadly type of bees. Killer bees are basically a mutation go wrong. They escaped from Brazil. These killer bees are no joke. They got together and they started jumping Ellie and her friend. And Ellie's caregiver friend, she dipped because it's killer bees. Like, what do you want me to do? It's 2 of us and like 1,000 of them. It's like, I'm out of here. But poor Ellie, she couldn't walk because Lyme disease, right? So she just had to sit there and get stung by all of those bees. On top of that, Ellie had a bee allergy. So she sat there and she just felt each of those stings one by one. And she already had planned to die, but now it was just happening a bit quicker. So for her, a win is a win. So after the deadly attack, Ellie went back home and she lay down and she waited for death to come. However, life had other plans for Ellie. After a couple hours, she was okay. And then after a few days, she noticed not only did she not die, but the brain fog that she had lived in that's brought on from the Lyme disease had dissipated. After so many years, she could finally just think and retain information. She started to walk and be able to live a better quality of life, or at least closer to the quality of life she had prior to becoming infected with Lyme disease. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, is she Bee Woman? You know, like Spider-Man, but she's Bee Woman because Spider-Man got bit by a spider and then he... Okay, let's just keep going with the story. Thinking that she was crazy, Ellie began doing some major research into bees and their venom and determined how she could have been cured from Lyme disease, as this was something no one had really heard of. I mean, it's really unbelievable because a lot of people didn't believe her. But as Ellie did more research, she discovered that the venom that's in the bee sting had a certain type of disruptor that would attack the Lyme disease. As time went on, Ellie began to regain more of her life back. She couldn't run like she used to because unfortunately Lyme disease did a total number on her body, but she can just do about everything else that she could do prior to Lyme disease. She could also eat more of the foods that she couldn't eat before. She was really just eating soup and spinach. Now she can have bacon. I mean, yay. Now, don't go out here and gather you some killer bees and start using them to cure yourself, okay? Don't do that. Don't tell anyone Champagne told you to do that because she ain't telling you that. Dale went through that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
My favorite arm. And cured.
Although there have been a few small sample size studies on the effects of bee stings and Lyme disease on patients, it's not enough that doctors are signing off on it just yet. It's going to take a lot of time and research to determine if these stings actually will be helpful for those who have Lyme disease. However, Ellie is still out here doing research on bee sting therapy, and you can find her on social media. Good luck, Ellie, and congratulations on getting your life back.